Audible activity flying right over my room. This is P.O.C. And doing so, remember, the sound of the plane activity originates over the roof of the building at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. And it is currently, I'm capturing video right now at 1:43 a.m. The entity is flying southeast over the 60 freeway, crossing over the hotel building. This is in conformity to the pattern of conduct. The sound is, what you're hearing is that which would not be sounding inside of my hotel room. The entity is engaged in the demonic pattern of conduct, targeting me with the sound of planes. But nonetheless, you're going to prosecute with the illusions that the demon possessed that are engaged in domestic terrorism, psychological torture. With regard to the objective is to stalk with presence, stalk with noise, while they're doing so using planes. This is the exposure of Alan D. Wapner, okay? The removal of the president of the airport authority, where criminal conduct is underway in the specific. This is the same pattern of conduct that you're looking at the DeBoer Professional Building. Okay, these lights are not the explanation for what are the conflicting patterns of the staircase. This is showing you engineer light, where the entity is gang stalking with those that are sharing criminal presence in the path with the city of Ontario, maintaining the elements of monitoring inside of their hotel rooms as well. And this is speaking to knowledge of who I am and where I'm at. They're engaged in surveillance together, including while the government is stalking me at this venue. So all 45 hotel rooms are representing the people of the state that are maintaining criminal presence in the path, and is relevant to the federal RICO case against the people of the state. This is engineer light. The entity is engaging in this, so let me show you what is the entity's pattern of conduct. Also stalking with light. While I'm showing you, here you go, showing you multiple shadows. Here's the multiple shadows. This is stalking with engineer light. The shadow of the gate is reaching across. You can see my shadow reaching across. This is not the product of what is engineer light. Okay, those lights over there are going to cause your shadows to reach at a distance. This is where the Ontario International Airport is targeting, just like they are with the Ontario Police Department. Mike Lorenz, again, being removed from position. This is gang stalking, monitoring my vagina, monitoring every physical movement in a hotel room with the demons that are stalking by presence. Engineer light, crossing a path, the demons that are paying for hotel rooms to maintain criminal surveillance as a government. And Alan D. Wapner is obviously engaged in gang stalking, where there are no terminals, where you're flying southeast, where you're flying south, where you're engaging in anything other than stalking in the path with light activity while you're monitoring. This is the demon stalking with the Ontario Police on video today at 6 p.m. Stalking with impossible light that flew across this building, and he's stalking with light right now while he's stalking in the path. That's the same psychopath you saw him exhibiting impunity while impossible light was all across the board, and he's stalking right now. Okay, that's P.O.C. That's a sex offender engaged in what is gang stalking with the city of Ontario. That's federal prison, what he engaged in on video. All right, that's P.O.C. And the government is facilitating it, and they are doing so. Let me show you what I captured in images. This is the entity that is indeed engaged in gang stalking. Here's my magnified size of my shadow. And this is another shadow right here. This is impossible light activity inside where the Ontario International Airport is stalking, that is deviating from Terminal 2, Terminal 4, 2500 Airport Drive, filling my hotel room, systematically flying over the venue, targeting with the amplified audible activity. Not only are there flying by stalking, because there's no airport arrivals or departures from Ontario International Airport, by flying south over 2301 South Euclid Avenue. Also the frequency that I am subject to this, and the entity is necessarily hovering to create the illusion of having any sort of takeoff where you're hovering over by flying south, and then I guess veering to go back toward what is the Ontario International Airport. The entity is outright stalking, period. And doing so at this hour is what I'm documenting, and the entity just confirmed it by flying over the hotel room. And they're flying over that direction because that's where I was standing. They're flying over my hotel room while I'm inside of it, documenting the entity that is stalking with impossible light activity, with the demons that are stalking in the path, because that's what that is, criminal surveillance, stalking in the path, like the demon in room 244 when she sits on the staircase, in engineered light, sitting in the vehicle in engineered light, where you know that's engineered light. I have multiple shadows in this parking lot. They're stalking in the path with aiming light. That's a psychopath. That's a demon that's stalking with light. In the same way that you saw this demon stalking with light while driving under the fake sun, and engineered light ricochets off the front of his car all across the face of this building. These are demons engaging in surveillance with the gang stalker that is the city of Ontario. Alan D. Wapner, Mike Lorenz, Paul Leon, Michael Gherkin, engaging in criminal surveillance with the sex offenders who are the people of the state, the demon possessed, that are gang stalking. And these are indeed, like you heard on podcasts, which is triggering demons that cannot control themselves and are under no circumstances intending to have any legitimacy in court. These are the idiots that are stalking under a fake sun that remains over over 201 South Euclid Avenue for 12 hours. Okay, these are the sex offenders that are engaged in obsession with my vagina. These are the sex offenders that represent gang stalkers who are mentally ill, who conspire to steal property while falsely depicting the character of the target individual whom they're envious of and who they're obsessively stalking. Okay, and they're of all races and all economic levels. These are the gang stalking bums of the ghetto in Ontario stalking me, monitoring with the government, using thousands of dollars to fly plane after plane, stalking me. Okay, this is P.O.C. This is the entity that's engaged in that obvious criminal conduct. 1:48 a.m. These are demons with multiple shadows. They're monitoring while they're driving, monitoring while they're walking, and they're doing the same thing under the fake sun, stalking with light. These are sex offenders monitoring my every movement, obsessed with me. This is P.O.C. Federal stalking under Title 18. License KKB 99. This is federal prison. They engaged in kidnapping with the city of Ontario that committed kidnapping with them because they're hostile while I expose them as sex offenders who are obsessively stalking me. And they committed kidnapping, which is within the pattern of conduct by the special needs population that are hostile because they're ashamed and embarrassed that they're obsessed with me. P.O.C. Gang stalking by placement in rooms all around in the engineered environment. This is P.O.C. at what is 1:48 a.m. Criminal surveillance maintained. Let me go ahead and get this license plate while they're out. All right, the city of Ontario relies on this. Mobile at 2315 South Euclid Avenue is also engaging in what is gang stalking by maintenance of presence in the path. Okay, and also sharing knowledge of what I'm doing. This is license 9SCM182, engaging in federal stalking. Maintenance of the vehicle, light activity, and then movement of the vehicle is a method of light activity as well. This is surveillance in that specific environment on behalf of the government that relies on the demon possessed to maintain presence all around you to keep you under surveillance, stalking you in the path. And traffic is a systematic means of that. This is P.O.C. This is the sex offense underway, and stalkers remaining inside of the hotel room with crossing path, making sure that they're maintaining presence in the path. This is P.O.C.